Hello! In this video we're going to talk about the D2L grade items and some of the aspects you want to be aware of when working with them. First of all, you want to keep in mind that D2L is based upon connections among assignments in the course, and these assignments may be quizzes, the actual assignment tool, or discussions, as well as the grade item that they are associated with. When you create some type of activity in the course, be it a quiz, assignment, or activity, the grade item is not automatically created and associated with that activity because you may want to have an activity that is not graded. So in doing so, if you want a grade item connected to this, you must create and connect the grade item to that activity. There are two main areas to check to see if a grade item is associated with any given activity. The first place is to go to the activity itself, be it assignments, discussion, or quizzes. Located beside the assignment or near it will be a icon, and if you hover over it, it will say grade item and whatever it is. So that lets me know that this particular quiz, because I'm in the quizzes area right now, is associated with this particular grade item. So they are associated. In this case, you see there isn't an icon there, which means that it is not associated to a grade item. So let's look in the assignment area for this. Same thing here, if I hover over, I'll see an icon saying that it is associated to this grade item. Other ones do not have that icon, meaning they're not associated. Similar in the discussions area, underneath it will actually say includes assessment, and that lets you know that it is associated to a grade item. If it does not say includes assessment, then it is not currently associated to a grade item. The second place to look is in the actual grades area. So by going to grades and then going over to manage grades, here you can see a listing of all the grades in the class, and over here you'll see under the association column, you'll see if it is associated to something, and you can actually click on this question mark and it will tell you what activity it is associated with. So it's associated to a discussion topic named Discussion 1. Or this one is located or associated to a quiz named Quiz 02. If there is a blank here, that lets you know that it is not currently associated to some type of activity, be it an assignment, a discussion, or a quiz. So to do this association, it's actually part of the setup process, but you can, if you forget to associate it, you can go back and fix that association. So in this example, we'll see that Module 6 is not associated to a grade item. So I can choose this and edit it. And then I'll be able to come to the Assessment tab. And then notice it is not associated to a grade item. So in the quizzes, what I want to do is I want to make sure this is checked. I want to pick the grade item that it goes with, and here there is not a grade item that automatically goes with it that's already created, and that's no big deal because what I can do here is click on add grade item and actually go ahead and make a grade item for this one. It's helpful if you just name the grade item exactly what the assignment is. So here's the grade item for it, and then here's the actual assignment, which is a quiz. So I'll name it the same thing to make it easy for me to know that these are associated. I'll put it in whatever category it goes in. In this case, we're using a point system, so there isn't a grade item. And then I'll put the max points allowed for this quiz. And so here I can actually see it's 40. So 40 out of 40 will give the student 100, so the max points on this particular quiz is a 40. So I'll save that, and then here in the quiz I want to check this. So check, associate to grade item, check. So now this assignment is going to be associated to a grade item, and we see that icon here. This is a very similar process for the discussions and assignments. A lot of times you do this when you are setting up the discussion itself. So in this case, I will find one that isn't associated to something. I will edit that topic. I will go to the assessment tab, and then I will just make sure to choose the grade item that goes with it. If there's not one automatically created already there in the gradebook, I'll just create one. So I'll just do new grade item, name it whatever I would like, put it in the category that it goes in if I have categories, and then put in the max points. Here, this max points is going to be the same as the score out of. It's just the highest grade that you can make on the assignment. And we'll save and close. So lastly, we'll do it on the assignments area just so that you can see how it looks there. Again, I can hover over these and I can see that there isn't the icon here that lets me know it is associated to a grade item. So no big deal. I can just edit that assignment. And then over here in the assignment area, it's actually up here. We see that it is not in the gradebook, so I would just want to add to the gradebook. And in choosing to add it to the gradebook, it is actually going to create a grade item for it out of 100 points. Now, this is in the case of there isn't a grade item already named this in the gradebook, and therefore I just want to make a new one. If there was one that was already existing and I just wanted to link it to it, I would choose to edit link to existing. And then here I would just pick, one that was already, if it was already created, I would choose this one and I would pick one that was already created here. In this case, there isn't one that's already existing, so I chose the first one, create and link to a new grade item, and then it would just name it that one. So kind of keep in mind that choosing to put it in the gradebook is going to create a new grade item for it, or if it's already created in the gradebook, because maybe you set that up first, you would do edit or link to existing. And then I'm going to save and close on that, and now I will have linked all of these different items to the gradebook. And if I go to grades and look under manage grades, I'll be able to see now that all of those assignments that I created are linked to the different items in the D2L gradebook. So again, make sure that all of your items are linked to the appropriate activity. Something else you want to understand about grade items is that if you want to delete a grade item from the gradebook, you have to either delete the activity that it goes with it, such as the discussion, assignment, or quiz, or at least disconnect that grade item from the activity. And that is because it works on associations, and as you saw earlier, you will connect an activity to the gradebook, and you have to either break that connection by deleting the activity itself, then being able to delete the grade item, or disconnect them, and then you'll be able to delete the grade item. So back in the D2L gradebook, we're just under grades and manage grades. Again, we see these associations here. So if I wanted to delete one of these grade items, I could come here to more actions and delete. And notice that some items are clickable. It allows me to delete them, but often many of them are not. And the reason why is actually in this question mark here, and it tells me that it is associated to something. So this is D2L's foolproof way of saying you can't delete this grade item because it is associated currently to something in the course. So again, our two options here are to go in and delete this activity itself, which will break the link so then I can delete the grade item, or if I don't want to delete the actual activity itself, I don't want to delete the actual assignment, discussion, or quiz, I can unlink it and then I can come in here and delete that particular grade item. So let's do a delete and an unlink. So we'll start with Module 6 exam, which we know is linked to the quizzes area. So what I'll do is I'll come to the quizzes area and I'll find that particular exam. So I see that it is linked to a grade item. So one way is to just go ahead and delete that particular item. So I'll just choose it and delete it. It'll ask me, am I sure that I want to delete it? And yes, I do. And then now I can actually come to the grades area, and under manage grades I'll be able to see that it is no longer associated. So down here I see that it's no longer associated, which means I can actually delete that item. And so in this case I'll do more actions, delete, and then I'll be able to come right down here and delete this grade item. Next is unlinking. So if we notice down here, this essay is linked to the assignment area. So I can go to the assignment area, I can find that essay, I can edit him, and then I can just make that change here to, instead of being in the gradebook, I can say not in gradebook, and that will break the link for me. A little bit different in discussions. We'll go ahead and do it here. We'll go to the discussions area and we'll find whatever the discussion that we're looking at here that is associated. We'll edit him. We'll also go to the assignment or assessment area on the tab. We'll change this to just choose a grade item. So basically I'm not selecting any, I'm just taking off the association, and then save and close. Then I'll be able to go to the grade book. I'll be able to choose under manage grades. I'll be able to choose to more actions delete, and I'll be able to pick both of these because I unassociated them with both and delete it. Something else you want to know about grade items is if you plan to do a course copy for only certain activities, so you're not copying over the whole course, you're copying over something specific like a specific quiz, a specific discussion, or a specific assignment, you want to make sure to also copy over the grade item that goes with it so that they copy over connected and they're ready to go. If you only pick the quiz, discussion, or assignment and not the grade item that comes with it, the activity itself will come over, but it won't be connected to a grade item, and then you would have to go back in, create the grade item, and then link them together, which is fine to do, but it's a little bit easier to just make sure to remember to copy the grade item with it so that they come over connected. So let's say I want to copy a specific quiz over into this course. So I'll go to More, Course Admin, I'll pick Import Export Copy Components, and then I'll pick to copy from another course. So copy components from another org unit, which basically means copy from another course. Then I'll choose to search for the offering. I'll search the semester and when in which the course was offered, and then I'll pick that particular course. Then I'm going to choose to select certain components because in this case I want to cherry pick what I want to copy over. I don't want to copy the entire course over. So I'll select components, and then I'll have a listing of all the things in that course, and I'll be able to pick what items I want to copy. So in this case, remember, I want to pick the quiz and the grade item. So first of all, I'll just navigate, and this is actually located in alphabetical order. So I'll pick quizzes, and I'm going to pick select individual items to copy. If not, it's going to copy. By default, it's set to copy all the quizzes, which you can see there are 94 quizzes in this course, so I don't want to do that. I want to select individual items to copy, so individual quizzes to copy. In doing so, though, in clicking this, I also want to come up here to grades and select individual items to copy because again I have 155. I don't want to copy all the grade items. I want to copy just the particular grade item that goes with this quiz. So then I'm going to continue because I don't want to copy anything else at this point. And then it's going to give me a listing of all the grade items in the course. So then you want to make sure to find that particular grade item to pick to be able to copy over. So let's say it's going to be reading quiz 1. That's going to be the grade item that I'm going to want to copy over. So I'll do continue. And then I'll pick under quizzes, I'll want to open these little boxes, and I'll want to find the one that matches. This is also another reason why you want to make sure to name your grade items and your quiz items or activity items the same thing. So in these cases, it's easy to match them up. So then you would find that one, you would do continue, and then you would just continue on to finish to be able to copy that one grade item and that one quiz. After that, you should be able to go to the grades, manage grades area and see that the grade item copied over and it is associated with the appropriate quiz. So for example, I would have the name of the grade item and then I would make sure that the quiz came over with it. The last consideration are the start and end dates. There are start and end dates on the activities themselves as well as on the grade items. In most cases, you're only going to want to put the start and end dates on the activity itself to determine when the particular quiz, assignment, or discussion opens or closes. You probably want the grade item to be visible at all times, so not a particular time window only when the grade item is visible. So in most cases, you won't put a start and end date on that particular grade item. So for example, let's look at Module 7 pretest. We see that it is associated with a grade item. So we're going to edit this particular item, and this is in the quizzes area. And under assessment, we do double check that we see that it is associated to a grade item. So under restrictions here in the quizzes area, when we're editing the quiz, this is where you might have a start and end date, which is going to dictate when the quiz is open or closed for the students to complete. So in this case, I might have it open from from this date to this date. Now keep in mind the end date is when it becomes invisible for the student. A due date is a soft deadline, so I technically could have something like this to where it is due on the 23rd, but it doesn't end or become invisible for the student until the 26th, or I could just say, the 26th is the last day. Always make sure to, when you have the option, to choose display and calendar, because it does put it on the D2L calendar for you and the students, making it a little bit easier to find. Now keep in mind this availability, this start and end date is on the quiz itself, because we were in the quizzes area doing that edit. So we're going to save and close on that. Same thing here with assignments. We'll just edit any particular assignment just for a second so you can see that when you're doing the assignment over here on availability dates, we have the start and end date. So I would pick whenever it is open to the students to begin to submit to, and when it is closed for the students to begin to submit to. Again, this is editing the opening and closing of the assignment itself. Okay, so now let's look at it on the grade item. Those are going to be the ones that you're probably going to want to edit. You're probably going to want to put on the quizzes, discussions, and assignments, you're probably going to want to put a start and an end date, or at least an end date, so that the students do have a time window and a definitive time when it has to be submitted. Now under the grades area, under manage grades, what you'll also see is under any of these grade items, if I choose to edit this particular grade item, under restrictions here, there is also a start and end date. This is not the start and end date for the activity itself. That is going to be in the activity area, either assignments, quizzes, or discussions. So in this case for quiz 1, I would actually edit the start and end date for quiz 1 under quizzes. What this is the ability to see the grade item for quiz 1, because I'm in the gradebook area. So if I have a start and end date for this, it means that the grade for quiz 1 will be viewable to the student in the gradebook from the 19th to the 26th. After that, it will become invisible for them. And in most cases, instructors want the assignment or activity itself to be visible and available for a certain time window, but the grades are fine to be able to be seen from the entire semester. So in most cases, you're not going to want to select this. If you do happen to have this selected though, when you go to grades, enter grades, you're going to see this little time clock, and that's going to let you know that it has, the grade item itself has an availability on it, and that may be why the student cannot see the grade item. So maybe say September 27th, you get an email saying, hey, I can't see my grade on this grade item, and if you come here and see a clock beside it and you hover over it, you see that it had an availability to the 26th, so they can't see it anymore. And again, in most cases, you don't want to see these clocks. So you can come here and do edit, and then go to restrictions, and then uncheck these, because in most cases, you always want the grade item to be visible to the student, so you won't have any clocks. Now, there may be a time when you don't want a student to be able to see that grade item. And what you can do, again, is edit it, and you can choose to come in under restrictions and put a start and end date. So maybe I don't want the student to be able to see this grade item until a certain day. So I would say on start, they can't see it until the 28th. Or it may be that I don't want them to see this grade item at all for some reason, and I can just hide it from users, and it will be hid indefinitely until you come in here and change it. If you have a start and end date, D2L will automatically release it or unrelease it based upon this time window, or again, you can manually change it here. If you have it hidden from users, you see that it has an eyeball with a line through it. So keep in mind here, they're able to see it. You're able to see it. The students are not able to see it, but it's still based upon how you have your points set up, or your grade items or your grade weight set up, it is still affecting the final average. But again, the major concern here is that in most cases, you're not going to, under manage grades, want to hide grade items or put restrictions on the dates for the grade items. In most cases, you're just going to want to put those on the activity itself, assignments, discussions, or quizzes, and not even worry about going to the restrictions here and making any adjustments for the particular grade item unless you're wanting to do something special with it.